Hello everyone, in this new stitch video, I'm going to show you how to knit this mixed rib stitch. It can also sometimes be called a column rib stitch because you get these beautiful little columns. It is a super simple stitch, perfect for beginners, and it produces a fabric that lays flat and is completely reversible. I have these swatches here in a lighter shade and in a darker shade. I think the pattern comes out a bit more prominently in the lighter shade, but it doesn't look too bad in the darker shade either. And you get a little bit of a scalloped edge at the bottom, just a very little scalloped edge. So great pattern to try for scarves, blankets, or any other project. I've provided the details of the stitch in the description field, and I'll also scroll it up here. But the stitch itself is worked on a multiple of 6 stitches plus 3. So I have cast on here 6, 8, 10, 12 stitches. I'm going to cast on 3 more to make it 15. And so that'll be a multiple of 6. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 3, 15. Okay, and for this demonstration, I'm just using US size 9 needles and some worsted weight yarn. You don't need double pointed needles for this pattern. Now the pattern is a 2-row repeat, and the first row, which is the right side of the work, the pattern goes knit 3, purl 3, all the way to the last 3 stitches. So here we go. We're going to knit just a regular knit the first 3 stitches and purl the next 3 stitches. And that's your pattern repeat all the way to the last 3. So here we go. We'll see that a couple more times, or one more time rather. Knit 3 and then purl 3. And you keep doing that. Once you get to the last 3 stitches, you will knit them. So just regular knit 1, 2, and 3. And that is the right side of your work. Or actually, you know what? I said that earlier, it's the right side, but it doesn't matter because this is a reversible pattern. But that is the row 1 side of your work. Then you're going to turn it, and row 2 is a purl 1, knit 1, all the way down to the last stitch. So here we go. So it's like a regular rib stitch where you do a knit 1, purl 1, but instead we're starting with a purl 1. So purl 1 and then knit 1. So if you're a beginner knitter and you want to try a rib pattern, this is a great one because it'll give you practice of switching from knit to purl in a couple different ways. In this row, you're just doing a purl 1, knit 1. In the other row, you're doing a knit 3, purl 3. So great pattern to practice switching. And so here we go. I'm just going to keep doing my purl 1, knit 1. All the way down to the last stitch. And when you get to the last stitch, you're just going to purl it. So purl 1. Okay. And that's it. You're going to keep repeating rows 1 and 2 all the way to get your pattern. Now I'm going to show you one trick to do when you're on the row 1. Because what happens is when you do, so let's see, row 1, we're doing knit 3. And then we do purl 3. But when you switch from a knit to a purl and you've got to purl more than just 1 stitch, what ends up happening is you get a little bit of a slack in the yarn, as you can see here. And if you want to tidy that up a little bit, what you want to do is you want to do your first purl, but then take the yarn to the back and pull on it a little bit to tighten up that slack. And then you can bring your yarn back to the front and purl the remaining 2 stitches. And you only have to do that on that first purl, not on every one of those purls. As you keep knitting, your work will start to look like this. Again, because this is a reversible pattern, it looks the same on both sides. So what you might want to do is you might want to, after you've knit the first row, you might want to take a little safety pin or some kind of stitch marker and put it on that side so that if you put your work away and you come back, then you know that you're on row 1, you need to start with row 1 versus row 2 because the rows are different, but they produce a reversible fabric. And after you've done your work, you're just going to do a regular bind off. Any kind of bind off of your choice is fine. And so I hope you've enjoyed this pattern and I hope you give this one a try. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments field. As always, thank you so much for watching and happy knitting.